My dear friends, thank you for joining me on this Beginner's Wednesday lesson. Right, today we're going to play a Beatles song. Don't run away, it's only got 2 chords in it. Well, almost 2 chords. But despite that, it's one of the most popular songs that they ever wrote. One of the most covered songs. Okay, again, it's a great example of how a simple chord structure means that you can have a really beautiful melody over the top, as I intend to demonstrate. Right, before we go any further, download your paperwork, your idiot-proof paperwork, by clicking the blue link below this video. If you don't see it straight away, click the more button, and there it is. Now, you'll say, he said 2 chords, and I can see 5. Well, look at these here. Other than the C, you've got E minor, what is it? E minor, as you know it, E minor 7th, E minor 6th, and E minor 5th, and all that means is you're putting a finger like this. So really there's 2, I'm sticking with my 2 chord thing, all right? So download your paperwork. Once you've done that, while you're doing it, you've also got all of the lyrics are all there as well, so the whole song is also mapped out for you, all right? So we'll give it an overview. Now, clearly I can't sing like Paul McCartney, he's got a really high voice. I was gonna lower the tuning on my guitar, but I thought, no, I won't, because most of you will be in standard tuning, all right? So you'll have to listen to me warble, all right? So should we, let's just go straight into it. Okay, verse. Get the key. 1, 2, 3. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where her wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? I look at all the lonely people. I look at all the lonely people. And so on. Now clearly when he does the I look at all the lonely people, he goes, I look at all the lonely people. But it's a bit early in the day for me to be doing that, so I'm gonna have to forgive the octave lower. Right, that's the little demo. Have you downloaded your stuff? All right, good. It's all free, so remember, you don't pay for it. There's a couple of ways you can help support the free content. This has just come out of my latest album, Puncture the Moon. Okay, gatefold all the lyrics. If you want to help support the channel, go buy one. There's a link at the bottom of this video. Or thank you to my Patreon people who help support the channel by making their monthly donations. Thank you to them. And on all those people who just buy a cup of tea, okay? Because I couldn't do any of this stuff unless I got copious amounts of tea. Right, let's look first of all at the chord, shall we? We've got a C. Now you can play your C. If you're a beginner, you don't have to play your C like this as I've written. You can play a 5-string version of the C like this, as you will normally see it written in a book. However, when you do see it written in a book like this, it's quite important that you don't allow this open E string here to overpower the chord. It's not wrong, but it sounds not quite right. Our root note for C is the 5th string. So if ever I'm playing a C like this, I always let my thumb come over the top, just slightly to mute it. But you're better off learning it like this, because that way you can strike it without any problem, and you've also got that alternating bass note that you can use in other songs, particularly folk stuff, Simon and Garfunkel and all that sort of stuff. So we've got a C in there. That's the hardest chord you're going to play today. Okay, the next chord you're going to play is E minor, and you must play your E minor like this with your 2 middle fingers. I see a lot of people doing this, probably because they've been doing Wonderwall or something, but you need to learn to play it with the 2 middle fingers. And there's a good reason for that, as I'm about to demonstrate. You're going to play an E minor. You're going to play an E minor 7th, which is this little finger just dropping onto the 2nd string of the 3rd fret. Then an E minor 6th. What does that mean? Well, we take this little finger and we just move it to the left on the same string. Okay. Then we're going to play an E minor 5th by taking our 1st finger and putting it on the 2nd string of the 1st fret and taking our little finger off. And then back to our E minor. See that? It's a beautiful progression used in hundreds of songs. Where have you heard that? James Bond. It's in millions of things. All right, so it's important that we know how to do it. Okay, so once you've got your measure of the chord C, played like this, let's do it like this. And our chords. Then that's all we need to know. All right. Now let's look at the right hand. The right hand you can either do, and don't forget McCartney wrote this song on an acoustic guitar. He never played acoustic on the record. It's all orchestrated with, I think it was an octet, that George Martin arranged for him. But he wrote it on acoustic, and there's some great videos of him actually playing it on acoustic, as I'm playing it to you now. All right, doing it exactly the same way. Now, what I like to try and do though is to try and get the strum quite snappy, like this. To give the impression of those dum dum, the cellos, dum dum. I like the sound of that. And the rhythm is very simple to remember as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if ever you see a chord when you come to stop playing the song, each of these chords represents 4 beats to the bar. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing this strum. The first way is the way I like to do it. So the first thing what you can't do is you can't strum with your hand in a ball. I always advise my students never to do that because they just get in the way and you wouldn't be able to do what I'm about to show you now. So without any chords on, I want you to do this. You're going to come down with your pluck, your hand is spread out open, and this part of your hand, as you come up, is going to mute the strings that you've just played. Like that. And see the way my pluck comes right the way back up again. Ready to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to put a chord on that, say a C. E minor. And you can see my hand, if you were to turn the sound off when you watch the video, when I'm doing it, you'll notice that my hand is doing this. You won't notice anything. You won't see me doing this. I'm trying to make a point of stopping. I'm just allowing this part of my hand, I'm coming down, and I'm see the way it sort of pulls in. And if you can do that, you'll be able to play hundreds of songs that you can't do at the moment, because it's a little technique that you really must get your head around. And remember, you will never do it if you play with your hand in a ball, all right? You need these fingers spread out all the time. For many other reasons, you might want to do picking with the pluck as well. So just get used to doing it like this. Now, if you can't do that to start with, that's all right. McCartney doesn't do it. I'm doing it because I want it to sound a bit more like the string, the octet that they use, a quartet or whatever it was. So let's go to our first verse. I'll play it. If I wasn't going to do it like that, I'd go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where her wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? With the other strum. All the lonely people. Do they all belong? See what I mean? The hand movement is almost, it's identical. It's just that I'm blocking the upstrokes. To get that of the song, okay? Do you get it? So one more time, if you want to do the strum, let's forget about the left hand for a minute. If you want to do the strum the way I think you should do it for this particular song, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the ands are blocked. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you want to do it the other way, you'll play the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so whichever way you want to do it to start with, it's fine. Don't be put off if you can't do this thing straight away. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a bit of practice to get used to it if you've not done it before, all right? But it really does give it that, a little bit more oomph when you come to do it. So let's look at our song layout, shall we? Okay, so we know our chords. Let's look at the song layout. So we start with the, no, I can't sing it the high, so I'm going to sing it an octave lower. Okay, I look at all the lonely people. And each chord, very important, each chord that you see, I've mapped it out as a deep proof, you can't cock it up, represents one bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, okay? I look at all the lonely people. Verse 1. Eleanor Rigby, I'll do it slow. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where her wedding has been. Lives in a dream. Now, you'll notice when it says lives in a dream, you'll see you've got a C and an E minor between these two lines. What does that mean? Well, it means you're going to play these two chords, the C and the E minor, over one bar. So there'll be 2 beats on the C and then 2 beats on the E minor. Okay, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lives in a dream. All right. So should we do that again? I'll do the second half of that verse because it's identical. Waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? See that? Who is it for? Now the easy bit, you stay where you are now for what I think is the most beautiful part of the song. All the lonely is where our E minor 7th comes in. 4 beats. Drop it to your left, or as we said before, 4 beats on people. To the E minor with it, I think it's a sharpened 5th. Then an E minor. It's lovely that. And remember, if you can't do that strum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Now you know that the tune isn't quite right there, because it should go. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? Wait for it. All the lonely people, where do they all belong? But as I said to you before, I'm not going to do myself an injury trying to hit those notes. And that is Eleanor Rigby. You've got all the chords, all the verses here. Just give it a go. Have a go at it. Now, what I would strongly recommend you do, when you've learned how to play it, play along with the track, you know, because it's in the same key as the record. Play along with the track. Okay, so there we are. Eleanor Rigby, download your chords, work on that strum. It's a beginner's lesson, and you shouldn't have any problem doing this, okay? Remember that thing, when you're coming up, just let your hand just tilt a little bit too. See, I'm coming down, and then I'm just doing it. And it's this part of the hand. I am not doing this. And all that. And your pleck must come above the strings when you've come up, because you've got to come down straight away. If you're here and you have to then backtrack, your timing has gone. All right, so there we are. A wonderful Beatles song, Eleanor Rigby. I'm doing a live stream on Saturday. It's the first Saturday of November. I know that probably you'll be watching this in a month's time, but there we are. I'm not that technical. I'm just telling you now. All right, so thanks for the tea. Ooh, thanks for Patreon. I've just spilled that. Thanks for Patreon. And thanks for those people who've bought the album. Go and get it. It's good. Of course it's good. All right. I don't play the guitar just to do guitar lessons, you know. You play the guitar to write music. All right. That's the key. And on that positive note, that's what you should be doing. So I'll see you all, hopefully, on the live stream on Saturday. No lesson on Saturday, live stream. All right. See you then. Bye-bye.